Hey guys, Dylan Spaulding here with Auto Racing Digest. Hey, today we're here at the Tampa Bay Auto Museum. We're going to do some really cool stuff. We're going to check out some awesome cars here with the Rolex 24 coming up. A lot of awesome automotive stuff here in the works with the site, and we are here today to check out some really cool vintage cars, get to learn about them, and get to bring you some really cool coverage. And this is going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to being here. Thank you so much to the Tampa Bay Auto Museum. They are open from Wednesday through Monday. They are closed on Tuesdays. You can come and check out their location here in Pinellas Park. They got a lot of really cool stuff. I just looked inside the door in the window, and they got some awesome things, and we're excited to get to share it with you. And we'll see you inside and showcase some of the cars that they got on display. All right, so we're here at the Tampa Bay Automobile Museum. We just got done with a great tour with the mechanic Andy. He's the lead mechanic here at the museum, and we're standing actually next to one of the cars that has a little bit of racing history. Obviously, we're a big racing site here at ARD, and we're actually joined with the museum director, Mr. Daniel Carpenter. Daniel, thanks so much for taking some time to talk about some of your pieces that are in this museum. Obviously, this is Olivier's museum. He owns all the cars. But just the 1929 Tracta A, Le Mans winner. I mean, this is a pretty cool car. It's got a lot of history in racing, and also it's a really historic piece of machinery as well.
Well, thanks for being here, Dylan. We're so glad you reached out and you thought of us, and we're glad you're able to be part of the mechanic tour today. Andy's incredible. He knows the cars, he knows the history, he knows the quirks, and he's a wealth of knowledge, and he's a natural storyteller. And as you mentioned, this collection is privately owned by the Surf family. And this is a piece that really gets a lot of interest, especially from visitors who are racing enthusiasts. They like racing history. This is an incredible piece of racing history. This car, this 1929 Tracta A, was the 1930 category winner at Le Mans. And so this car ran, as you see it here, it's actually run at Le Mans 5 times. Most recently is 2023. It got invited back. They were doing a big 100th anniversary. They invited all the winning cars back. And so this car was back on the track as recently as 2023. It did finish. It did not win like it did in 1930, but it's amazing that this car, it's just so well built to have that kind of racing history, to not just win the 1930 24-hour category, but also be able to run on that track several times over the course of its life. Everything in this vehicle is original, except it's my understanding that it has gotten a paint job. So it's gotten a little bit of a freshen up over the years, but it's the original car, and this is definitely a cool piece of racing history.
Now, top speed is obviously different now than what it was back then, but for what it was, I mean, this was a fast car back in the day. You look at cars now; they're going over plus 150 miles per hour on those. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. But you look at what you have back then; it was still pretty fast, even for its time.
Yeah, and it was also about endurance. So this might not have been the fastest car on the track, but it had the best endurance. It was able to keep going. And on the photo behind me, that's from the end of the race. And the two gentlemen, there's a guy who's like right in the middle underneath the I and the E. And then the gentleman on his left leaning on number 27, those are the two guys who drove the car to victory. So sure, it was fast. It might not have been the fastest car, but there was a matter of endurance. The car was reliable, and then also you had some pretty good drivers, one of which being Jean-Albert Gregor, who you've seen his name several places throughout the museum. He's a very important French automotive guy. Race car driver, was influential with CV joints. The Hotchkiss Gregor, we have a couple cars that he designed. We have an electric car he designed from 1971. So this little alcove here with the Tractas and the Memile mystery car. This is a cool thing to see.
Talk about bringing this car back. You mentioned the Le Mans Classic in 2023. It can be a challenge sometimes running cars at this age, from 1929, from that era. It can be challenging sometimes because you don't know what the car could bring to the table. You don't know how long it will last. Talk about being able to, and obviously I imagine Olivier probably had a lot as well in terms of, getting that car prepared as well. But just talk a little bit about, the process of getting something ready for a 2023 race where the car, seeing the track again, it's a pretty monumental thing.
Very much, yeah. And so we had a driver for that race, somebody who's professional and familiar with the cars, just in case. You always want a professional driver. But the prep leading up to this, Andy, our mechanic, he was making sure everything was in tip-top shape for months leading up to that event. And nothing goes unchecked, nothing goes unnoticed. He made sure that this car was running in great condition. It got shipped over to France. The car, once it got there, they inspected it and made sure that everything was working okay, and it was. And when it came time to race, that thing fired up and it ran. It's pretty exciting.
It's a pretty incredible
And we do have
piece.
video in the museum of it on the track, so people can see it, and you do see other cars just go whizzing by it. But, it was a different car in a different era, but the fact that it was back on the track with all these other winners over the course of 100 years, it's pretty cool.
Now we might have to, is there a way we can see the video for the viewers?
Yeah,
we might have to show this here.
Let me start it from the beginning.
Yeah, so this is, again, 2023 Le Mans Classic. So we obviously have the Le Mans race, and then we had the Le Mans Classic, which is all the vintage cars and everything. It's everything from kind of somewhat modern to even back in the day. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know how many cars there were, but like you can see, there's one right here that's just kind of going right around it. But I mean, that's the speed for that time in 1930. That's the speed, and I think that's what's so cool about this race in particular is that you get to see that snapshot of the era, how the cars looked, and also how fast they went.
Yeah, what is it like to get that reception, like see people go up to the car and like get to see like this vintage racing? Like it is pretty cool to like see the reaction from people when they get to see these cars out on track again, because it's like I wasn't around in 1929, and not many people were in 1929 who are still here today. So it's like it must be awesome to see the reception of people getting to see these cars on track and getting to see the Tracta as well.
Absolutely, it's very special. I mean, when people come to the museum, we get people in here all the time who say things when they get here. I'm a car guy.
Yeah.
I go to car museums, and they come here and they are just blown away, and they are so impressed with our collection and how unique it is. And that is what we strive for here. We strive to not just share our knowledge with people, but to really connect them with all these cars in an emotional way. And when they learn about the engineering and the innovations that are on display in these vehicles, and then they get to see racing history, this is just such an incredible collection, and anybody who's a car enthusiast needs to come see us.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive just walking around here, and even if whether you're a racing fan, whether you're just a car fan in general, it's incredible to see the history. I mean, you got stuff from the 1700s with some of these,
the Cuneo.
Yeah, with the Cuneo, and then you have stuff all the way now to like the DeLorean and stuff that you see like in the movies, like in modern day.
You see the evolution of the automobile.
Pretty incredible.
Yeah,
it's pretty incredible.
And our collection is from 1899 to 1988.
Yeah.
So you really get to see the evolution and see things that were innovative for their time. Front-wheel drive, gas-electric technology, aluminum body design, unibody design, things like that. There was a time when they weren't common like they are now. So we highlight those innovations because there was a time when it was brand new, and to be able to go back in history and see the evolution of the automobile is really cool.
Now, we were told earlier, these cars actually that are standing right to the right of us, these are actually the original, like the owner's cars.
The
these
family
were
cars.
Family cars. So
yes.
This is kind of how the museum got its start, if you will, is through these family cars, and then just kind of gradually expanding. Can you kind of discuss, because this is the 20th anniversary for the museum,
it's a
which
special
is
year
incredible.
For us. Yeah.
Just talk about how this really all got started, because it's incredible to see how much has been accumulated and how you guys are preserving this history.
Yeah, well, preservation is our mission here, and preserving that automotive history. Our founder, Alan Cerf, he loved cars and had at a very young age. The blue Peugeot on the end of those 5 cars, the blue convertible, that was the first one he purchased in the collection. And he bought that in 1957 when he was like 23 years old.
Wow.
He was a young man. He loved cars from a very young age, and it was a passion of his throughout his life. And to your point, these 5 original family cars, this is what started it all with the collection. When the family moved from France to the United States in the early 70s, they brought their cars with them, and then it just sort of went from there.
Yeah.
And now it's a collection of about 90 cars. Right now we have 77 of them on display in the museum. Wow. And these are very special to the Cerf family. This one right here, this convertible, this actually drove Olivier and Emmanuel home from the hospital after they were born. Really? So that's a very special car to the family. And then, of course, the blue Peugeot on the end, that convertible, that's the very first one that Mr. Cerf purchased. The red Delahaye next to it, that's his wife's favorite car.
Wow.
So these are very special cars to the family, and it's just kind of an interesting thing. Like, I'm sure when they were driving these cars, they never would have thought that they would open a museum or these cars would end up in a museum one day, but they care so much about preserving the history that here we are now, and like you said, we're in our 20th year as a museum, and being able to have people come in from all over the country, all over the world, really. We get people from all over the world every day to come in and see this this incredible collection, learn about early automotive innovation and engineering, and see what cars look like and get that snapshot in time. It's really special.
Yeah, you obviously, being the museum director, you're here all the time. You get to see people coming from all over the world. What is it like to see them really connect with these cars, especially if they're from a country where maybe there's a German car that they connected with, from their time period, or, maybe it's something they never seen before, but it's still something that they know that brand, like Audi's in here. Like, there's so many brands that are so recognizable, but what is it like to see that connection from the people who do visit the museum?
It's really special. Having that connection is why we are here. And seeing the enthusiasm. People, they're excited when they get here. Maybe they've done a little research. They know it's a tribute to engineering. But as they're walking around and they see things and they connect with certain vehicles, maybe their uncle had a Corvair back in the day, or it was a vehicle that their grandma had, or there's always some kind of a connection and a story, and people love sharing that with us as they walk around and connect with our collection. It's really special. And then by the time they leave, they're in such a good mood. They're so glad they came, and it's a really neat thing to see that every single day with so many different people.
Yeah, to put it in perspective here for people, this is a massive building.
19,000 square feet.
A massive building that goes all the way towards the back. There's more cars here. Obviously, we have the Alpine over here.
That's right. Yeah.
I want to let's talk a little bit about this. Yeah. I love this car. It's another racing car, and I think this is a really neat car. I love Alpine. It's one of my favorite brands, and I really enjoy this car a lot.
This is a visitor favorite, let me tell you, and so much so that when it comes to our merchandise, our latest kitchen refrigerator magnet that we offer and t-shirt feature this car, because so many people tell us when they leave that this was their favorite car. They connect with it. It's an incredible piece of racing history, but there's also something about this blue. This is one of the most unique blues I've ever seen, and it's a beautiful car. It's impressive. This one's from 1974, and it's got performance. It's got great handling. It's got speed. I've never driven this one. I've been told it's very fun to drive. I have, like Andy said on the mechanic tour, I've gotten in and out of the car, and I'm not a big guy, but even for me, I have to kind of be strategic about getting in it. But this really brings everything together that people look for when it comes to racing performance. And that's why we've got it featured front and center right here in the gallery. It's a visitor favorite, and people always enjoy seeing it.
Yeah, it's just so incredible to see the progression of the technology within these cars, and to see stuff like you have the Sahara here, which is really innovative for its time with the 4-wheel drive in it, and the 2 transmissions, which is wild to me because you don't see that in any normal car nowadays. It's incredible.
Like you were saying too, people come in from all over the world. I cannot tell you the number of people from Europe and especially France who come in and they are just floored by how many Citroens we have, and especially we call it our youngest car from 1988, this 2CV Charleston. This is a very well-known car in France. Based on the conversations that I've had with visitors, for me and my generation, I would equate this car to being like the Ford Escort or the Ford Taurus of France.
Yeah.
You see them everywhere. They're a common car. They're a reliable car. They really didn't change them for the 40 years that they made them because they were made so well. And they were reliable. They were good cars, and people love seeing these too.
Now you talked a little bit. You said you've been in this car before.
Yes.
Obviously, there's a lot of cars within this collection. Is there a car that you've been in that has been like, oh man, this is awesome. This is incredible.
You know, I loved. I went for a ride in the Studebaker Avanti.
Ooh.
That's a nice car. The Corvair, which is the original color.
Mm-hmm.
That color is Evening Orchid. That's a stock color from 1965. I really enjoyed riding in that one. The Peugeot, that was a great ride. But there's one car I've had the privilege to drive, and I'll show you this one. It's right around the corner here. And this is a 1922 Milburn Light Electric. This is a fully electric car, and there are 6 batteries in the front, 8 in the back. And this is the one I got to drive, and I like pointing it out because there's no steering wheel. You use the levers. The top lever is your gear shifter, and you have 4 forward speeds and 2 reverse speeds, and then the bottom lever, the longer one, is how you steer it. So you kind of drive it like this. And it's an interesting thing. I didn't leave the parking lot, but I did get to drive it, and it was incredible. It's from 1922. It's quiet. It's fully electric. I had no idea that technology was available way back then until I started working here.
Yeah, it's crazy because you look at electric cars nowadays and they're so complex, but even if you look at this, just 6 battery, it's actually pretty, but it's pretty incredible for what its time was because we never seen anything like this before.
Absolutely, yeah. And the story with this, and a lot of car manufacturers did a few things before they started making cars.
Yeah.
Guns, bicycles, wagons. Milburn was America's largest wagon manufacturer in the late 1800s. And as society is transitioning from horse and carriage to the automobile, they're like, well, hey, let's get in on this. So they had the carriages already made. And I mean, you look at this car, and I see Cinderella's carriage. They literally took a horse carriage, plopped it on 4 wheels, hooked it up to some batteries, and now they have a car.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's incredible. I mean, there's just so much history to be had here in this museum, and it's constantly changing in and out. There's new cars that come in, different pieces are coming in. I mean, we were over at the renovation shop. There's a lot of work going on over there. Andy's doing something. The rest of the team's over there doing something. It's pretty awesome to see all the different things that are happening here. It's not just what's going on in here. There's stuff going on right next door.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we're always working on a project of some kind. Whether we're restoring a vehicle, Andy's fixing it, making sure that it runs and drives, or like the case of the 1925 Geron Aerodyne, we're finishing that car. There was only one of those ever made, but it was never finished. In 1925, and we have the original drawings and renderings, and our restoration team is finishing the car as it was meant to look 100 years ago. Our restoration guys are incredibly talented. They do amazing work, and people always comment when they come through the museum. They notice how good the upholstery is. They notice how good the paint job is. And we're very proud of the fact that we can have such impressive works of automotive history on display.
It's stunning. I mean, if you just looking inside there and seeing the upholstery, the craftsmanship, the amount of work that gets done, it's truly a testament to the team here at the Tampa Bay Automobile Museum.
Absolutely.
It's awesome. Well, Daniel, I want to close off on this. Thank you so much for having me out. It's been an awesome experience. This has been incredible. Hopefully we'll get back out here soon, showcase some of the other pieces.
We'll have you back.
I'd love to be back out here. It's been amazing. Where can people find more information about this museum, and where can people come out and check out some of the exhibits and see some of these incredible pieces of machinery and these cars here on display?
Yeah, so people can learn a lot about us and our collection on our website, tbauto.org. We're on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and we're out there. Our website is an amazing resource. People can buy tickets online. They can buy tickets when they get here. We're open every day but Tuesday. And we look forward to seeing people. I mean, we're here. This is amazing, and we love just welcoming people and sharing the collection with everyone.
Well, I'm just going to say this right now. I'm a little bit jealous of your job. You get to be around some of the most amazing,
I'm a lucky guy.
Incredible pieces of machinery and cars that you'll ever get to see. It's really, truly incredible.
Yeah,
right here in Pinellas Park. And yeah, come and check it out. We'll have all the information for everybody down in our description below. But Daniel, I can't thank you enough. Thanks so much for letting me come out here today and getting to experience this history.
Yeah, anytime, Dylan. We look forward to seeing you again. Thanks
Awesome.
for being here.
Hey everybody, Dylan Spaulding here. Just want to thank Daniel Carpenter and the rest of the team here at the Tampa Bay Auto Museum for having me out here today. Absolutely incredible, really, really amazing stuff here to get to check out. Come here to Pinellas County, Pinellas Park right here, right near St. Petersburg, not too far away from Tampa. You can check out all this amazing history right here at this amazing location here, the Tampa Bay Auto Museum. And obviously you can check out all our stuff here coming up on Auto Racing Digest. Subscribe, like, comment. We'll see you in the next video. Peace out, guys.